everyone, happy Monday. I have a few warm reviews for you today from some things that I have been melting over the past couple of days. So I thought I would go through them. I tried to do this video while I still had enough daylight that I didn't have to turn my flash on, but I lost daylight too quickly. So okay, let me get started. So starting with Scentsy, I have Pacific Mist. I'm trying to get this out of the flashlight. Pacific Mist. I do have the notes here. So Pacific Mist is misty ocean air wafts through coastal sea salt and driftwood with a buoyant touch of tropical nectar. So this was kind of a sweet, oceanic, perfumey fragrance. The first thing that I pick up here is that nectar. So it's kind of like a very sweet, almost fruity drink type of smell. You can't really pick out like any individual fruits, but it's that sweetness. It's like a sweet drink. And then I do smell like salty sea air. So there is a little bit of brininess with that ocean air fragrance. And then if there's driftwood in here, I think I maybe pick up some driftwood, but it's not first and foremost. It's definitely kind of hanging out in the background. So it's not a wood, it's not a driftwood heavy fragrance. It's more so that nectar with a little bit of salty sea air. This was beautiful. I think that's the best way to describe it. Is it's a very bright, beautiful fragrance. I think that if you are a little bit unsure about some of those more ozone heavy salty sea air fragrances, you might like this, you might prefer this because there's that sweetness of the nectar that kind of rounds everything else out. So really pretty. I used 3 cubes of this in my bedroom. So I had 3 cubes in my bedroom and 2 cubes in my bathroom. And this was a strong one. I would give this a 7 or 8 out of 10 in terms of fragrance throw. And then with longevity, this actually lasted quite a while. I had this in my warmers for 2 days straight because I was still getting fragrance from it, even at the end of the second day. And I honestly switched it out just because I was ready for something else in the warmers, not because I needed to switch it out. So this really is a good performer. So I could definitely recommend it for that reason as well. Not just the fragrance, but also the performance of the wax melt itself. And it's such a beautiful like light blue or light turquoise color. So excellent. Glad that I have a few more bars of that. And this, even though that this is more of like a summer fragrance, I often melt things like this in my bathroom or my bedroom, even throughout fall and winter, simply because I like those types of fragrances in the bedroom, and also because it's nice to break up some of the more bakery heavy scents with something fresh once in a while. Okay, next up is a bar or a clamshell of Italian linen. This is one of the Hobby Lobby wax melts. Description on this is pressed cotton, green vine, and citrus. Okay, so this was much more of a dewy green fragrance than it was like a laundry or a linen. Not to say that there's not like a cotton note in here, but it's secondary to the dewy greens. And the citrus is even secondary to the dewy greens. There's like a brightness, I think, from the citrus, but it's definitely that green note, that green vine that comes out first. Now, the fragrance itself was really lovely, and it would have been a repurchase for me based on fragrance alone. However, it did not perform that well. I had 2 cubes of this in the warmer in my bathroom, which again, we're talking about a very small space. And unfortunately, I would have put it at like maybe a 3 out of 10 in that small space. So I don't even think it would have been worth it to try it in the bedroom. So this will not be a repurchase because I obviously want a nice, strong, obvious fragrance. And this was not something that I got from this one. So I will not be repurchasing this. Okay, so then lastly here, I have a Dessa's Homespun Scents. This is Book of Shadows. I was really excited about this one, smelling it on cold. This is fresh blackberries, bonfire bliss, creamy oat milk, and cedar wood chip. tips. Now on cold, I will tell you that this was one of the reasons I was so excited, is because this was such a unique mix of blackberry and wood and cedar wood. I absolutely loved it. Now, when I popped this in the warmer, I had this in the warmer in the living room. I only used 2 of these little cubes here, so it wasn't, okay. I would say with those 2 cubes in the warmer next to me, performance was actually pretty good. I had it next to me during the football game, so I was obviously smelling it because it was right next to me and wafting towards me. But even when I stepped away from the warmer and went, into the kitchen or kind of down the hall, and then came back just into the living room, not necessarily next to the warmer, I could still smell it pretty strongly. Now, unfortunately, the cedar wood note sort of disappeared on warm, and it really just became that fresh blackberry, maybe a little bit of like some sort of creamy milk as well. But I no longer got the cedar wood, and I did not get any of the bonfire bliss. There was no smoke note on warm. So it was nice. It was certainly nice. That blackberry was really beautiful. I would say it's probably one of the blackberries that I've enjoyed the most out of the blackberries I've tried. However, I was really hoping for it to smell very similar on warm as to how it did on cold with the cedar wood, and that just kind of disappeared. So maybe if I had more cubes of this, if I had melted more of it in a couple of different warmers, maybe with just a stronger throw, the cedar wood would have been more obvious. So I think that's what I'm going to do with the remainder. I think I'm going to melt the rest of this all at once, or maybe melt 2 cubes in a smaller space and see if I can get more of that cedar wood to come out. But otherwise, a very lovely scent. So that's about it. Those are my 3 reviews of the day. If you've tried any of these, I would love to know your thoughts. So please feel free to leave a comment down below. Always appreciate subscribers as well if you like my content and you'd like to see more of it. Otherwise, I'm sure I will be back within the next couple of days with some more reviews. So thank you so much for watching, and hope everyone has a wonderful Monday evening.